Hello guys and welcome to Painting Panzers. My name's Christian and today I've got something that is very close to my heart. I have got some Far East Commonwealth forces to paint up, specifically some of the new Warlord Games plastic Gurkhas. Thank you so much to the team at Warlord for sending me this sprue as well, but this particular set is going to be focused on the Gurkhas in the Far East. I've painted them up in a slightly different style, I would say, that you might have expected to see, specifically the trousers. But yeah, I'll talk all about that in just a moment, but I would be very keen to know if you're going to be getting yourself one of these. Don't forget, I've got a Warlord Games affiliate link, so if you do go ahead and grab yourself any of these Gurkhas, please do consider using my link. But enough of all of that. I really want to get into this video and hopefully you guys will get something out of it. So let's get into it. Thanks again to the team at Warlord for sending me out this sprue. It's another fantastic plastic sprue from them. You can see that it's made up of Gurkha heads as well as bodies, rifles and the like. So you get a mixture of slouch hats, helmets, head wearless, if that's the right word. Then you've got Lee Enfields, brain guns, there's a Thompson in there, there's an M1 carbine, a Sten gun, you've got the 2-inch mortar, flamethrower, pistols, you've got your kukris separated as well as attached to some other bits of webbing. So yeah, overall really nice, meant for the jungles of Burma, but you could also get away with using these in Italy as well, the same sort of equipment with their rolled up sleeves and that. So yeah, really nice. If you want to pick up this set from Warlord Games, I do have an affiliate link, so please do consider using it when purchasing through Warlord Games. Now once you've assembled your model, I give it a prime of Tamiya Surface Primer light grey. Now for the jungle green uniform, I'm going to be using US olive drab. Now this particular uniform is going to be made up of two parts, and I must say a huge thank you to Puka Sahib on Facebook. It's a fantastic resource for anything British Far East or Commonwealth Far East, and this particular uniform on screen now is a reproduction, but it looks really good. So you can see that the actual tunic was one colour and the khaki trousers were another, so we're going to go with khaki for that, and the khaki is also going to be used for the webbing, which we'll see in just a minute. The sort of two blend together. Now if you wanted to keep it a little bit more basic, you could make the tunic as well as his trousers the same colour, because that was also very common. These particular jungle green uniforms were actually produced in India for the most part, so you would have had a big variety in sort of shades of jungle green, so you could go brighter or darker depending on what you're doing. Then I'm going to be using flat earth for any of the wooden areas, but just going back to the uniform, bearing in mind that these guys are fighting in the jungle, they've got very few chances to actually wash their clothes, and they're going to be out there in the elements, so they are going to fade very quickly, so do bear that one in mind. You don't want to go super bright green. Now US dark green is what I'm going to be using for the helmet. I've picked a helmet with lots of foliage on the top, lots of those sort of jungly looking leaves on there, so try not to paint too many of them. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you do, because you're going to be painting them in a similar colour anyway, but it's always good just to know what you need to actually paint so you don't miss something. Now for any of the metal areas, I'm going to be using black grey. So this particular Lee Enfield has got his bayonet on, and you can see there's also on the sling there is some areas that need a metal clip painted on, so just go ahead with that one. Now again, I took this one from the Puka Sahib Facebook page, and this shows you the equipment and how it should be painted. So the kukri is made up of 3 different colours. So you've got the main part, which is khaki, then you've got a sort of German camo medium brown colour in the middle here, which is attached to the webbing, and then you've got the main area that the kukri slides into, so that's German camo black brown. I don't know the correct technical terms for these guys obviously, so yeah, just bear with me on that one. And then obviously I'm painting the handle in the same colour. Moving on to the canteen, I'm going to be painting that in English uniform. Now for that jungle foliage on his helmet, I'm going to be using uniform green. So you're going to get a nice vibrant green colour to simulate those really vibrant green tropical plants or leaves. Then for his kukri, I'm going to go with base lead belcher. Now if you know me, I don't normally paint metallic colours if I can avoid it, but being a kukri, it's very shiny, so you want to make sure that you're painting that in a metallic colour. And then for his shoes, I'm going to go ahead and use black. We're going to give them a nice dry brush at the end of an earth color. So yeah, give them black and we'll make some of the other details on that pop soon. And then you can go ahead and give your model a wash of null oil and LAFME on medium at a 1:1 ratio from Warhammer. So make sure you get that mixture right and you'll be having a great time with this wash. Now, before I go any further, I must quickly mention my channel sponsor, that is Noble Knight Games. Now, they are based in the USA and they have a huge range of miniatures and board games, etc. It is really worth having a look at their website. They've also got some amazing out of production items too that are really hard to find, and they ship internationally. I've ordered from them in the past as well as others that I know, and they are awesome to deal with. So yeah, check out Noble Knight, follow my affiliate link in the video description, and yeah, get yourself the goodies that you require. All right, back to the video. Now you've given your wash time to dry. Once it is dry, go back over the whole uniform again that you've painted a US olive drab, but just leaving the original washed base color in the recesses. So you can see a perfect example of that was just there, where I was leaving that dark line going right down the middle of his spine, because that's showing as sort of like a seam along his shirt there. So yeah, just make sure the original wash base color is in the recesses, but everything else gets a coat. And then you can go ahead and use US olive drab and German camo beige World War II at a 2:1 ratio and just scratch in those details. So I'm using a size 3.0 brush, so it's a very pointy brush at this stage because I really just want to focus on those raised areas. So I'm literally just trying to scratch in some details along those raised areas to give that uniform a lot of definition, and I'm not going too mental trying to repaint the whole thing. This process is slow, but it really is worth the effort. Now the process remains the same throughout the rest of the model, but for the webbing we're going to be going ahead with khaki. So you can see that I'm trying to break down each individual part of that webbing, so the shoulder straps as well as the little bit of strapping that connects to the belt, and then some of the entrenching tool area, all of that, and the canteen and stuff. Just giving it another coat, tidying it up nicely, ready for the next stage, which is khaki and stone grey at a 2:1 ratio. So these shoulder straps, for example, I'm painting a line on each side, and then I'm moving on to the next one. I'm going to do the same thing. So that's going to show obviously their shoulder straps, going to give them a bit of definition, and it's going to be very easy to make out what they are, opposed to just painting a big blob of the same color on there. So that's why it's really important that you're using a nice pointy brush, and you can see what brush I'm using in the video description. Now once you've painted your trousers in khaki, again I'm going to be using khaki in German camo beige World War II at a 2:1 ratio. So I've painted them khaki, now I'm going back over like I did with all the other steps, and going to give it its final layer, and you can see that I'm doing exactly the same thing as what I've done previously, just scratching in on those raised areas. These 2:1 ratios make it a very subtle change, but that's what I like. I think that makes it look a little bit more realistic. Now for the wooden areas, I'm going to be using flat earth again. Now this particular stage is a little bit different. I actually do 3 steps here, so I'm using flat earth again, and again I'm just using that really pointy brush to scratch in as much detail as I can do. And then once I've done that, I'm going to then try and get some wood grains going. So I'm using flat earth and orange brown at a 1:1 ratio, and you can see I'm painting vertically along the rifle here, even though it would technically be horizontally, but I'm talking from the painting perspective, and I'm making sure that I'm trying to get some sort of wood grain effect. So I'm not painting on a blob, I'm scratching in loads of fine little lines, and then finally I'm going to be using that orange brown again and doing the exact same process, but obviously reducing the amount that I'm doing. Now in that previous step with that mixture, I also give some definition to the handle of the bayonet. That's what the color I would use. I didn't show it in this particular video, but yeah, that's what I'm doing. So you can see here that I'm scratching in that orange brown, and that rifle is really going to start to pop now, but it's going to look awesome. You're going to have some wood grain effect on there as well. Now for the metal area, following the same process as the wooden area, except with the scratching, I'm going to use black grey. And then once I've tidied up that black grey, I'm going to use black grey and basalt grey at a 2:1 ratio. And this is where we're going to start to try and get the metal areas to really stand out nicely. So I'm picking out all the little bits of detail that I can see, and there's lots of it on these plastic models from Warlord games. So yeah, do try and capture as much of it as you can do. And with that done, I'm going to give it one final touch of black and black grey at a 1:1 ratio. Sorry, it's black, grey and basalt grey at a 1:1 ratio. And this is the final bit. So this is where I'm really going to start to make sure that I'm picking just those raised areas. I'm not doing anything else, just getting those nice raised areas, and you can see that that really just starts to stand out. Now for the German Camo medium brown area of the cookery sheath, I'm going to just give that a nice little few lines, and then just along the top I'm going to add some orange brown into that mixture at a 1:1 ratio, and there's paint and lice line along the top and the bottom. And then with German Camo black, brown and orange brown at a 1:1 ratio, I'm going to give that darker area of the cookery sheath just a line on the top there, as well as the handle on his cookery itself that he's holding. Now for his canteen, I'm going to be using English uniform, and just you can see I'm scratching in the bottom towards the middle strap, and repeating that process but adding in some German Camo beige at a 1:1 ratio, but not obviously painting the whole thing again. And you can see the process is exactly the same, where I'm just scratching in. Now for the bit of helmet that you can see that isn't covered by foliage, I'm going to use German Camo beige World War II, and I'm going to dry brush around it. Because this has got netting on it, this dry brush should hopefully capture some of that netting, so it's going to make it look a lot nicer. And then I'm using uniform green again, and you can see that I'm doing the same sort of principle as I did with the netting. I'm trying to just dry brush this on, but I want to make them a lot brighter, so I'm going to add in some flat yellow into that mixture as well. So that's at a 2:1 ratio. And I was kind of looking at it going, it still doesn't stand out enough for me. So I'm actually going to go ahead and add some more flat yellow into the mixture at a 1:1 ratio. You could probably even get away with dry brushing on some just straight up flat yellow, just to really make those leaves pop. But I think I was pretty happy with how they look at the end there. Now getting the skin tone of a Gurkha right is pretty difficult, but I'm going to use base flesh from AK Interactive. It's a bit of a darker flesh. I think it works really nicely, and once we get the mixture with a lighter flesh tone in there, it's going to look really nice. Now with that metallic area, I'm just going to go over it with Stormhost Silver from Warhammer. It's a bit brighter than the previous silver that we used at the start of the video, but it's going to look good. And then I'm going to do the same on the bayonet, but I'm literally just going to add a line and then blend it in with my finger. Now for the flesh areas, I'm going to be using Umbar Wash from Vallejo, and I'm just going to put this in nicely. You can see I'm using a battered old pointy brush, so it's essentially a pin wash but probably a bit more liberal, and yeah, gonna get it in there. Now for any of the buttons and stuff, you would use brass, but I think gold at this scale stands out a little bit better, so I'm going to use gold. So I'm just painting in a nice little blob on the buttons and a bit of the belt buckle there. Now for the facial areas, I'm going to go over it again once that wash is dried with base flesh from AK Interactive, and I'm picking up the nose, the cheeks, the chin and the eye socket or the eyelids, and then I'm going to use some highlight flesh into that mixture at a 2:1 ratio, and I'm going to do the exact same thing, but this time I'm not connecting the cheek to the chin, and obviously I'm trying to get some definition in that nose and the ear, as well as the hand there and each individual finger. But I'm not going to stop here. I'm going to add in more highlight flesh at a 1:1 ratio this time. And again, do the exact same thing, but reduce the amount I'm putting on. So you can see that I've get the nose a little bit, a bit on each eyelid, a little bit on the top lip there, a little bit on the bottom chin, and then yeah, just some on each finger, and then just a little scratch on the top of the arm there. And then I'm going to be using white grey for his teeth, because you can see his teeth are visible. You should have something that looks like this. So overall, he's come out really nicely. I thought I would compare him to my metal figure, and honestly, the metal figure, I think I painted up slightly better. I actually used a bit of a brighter range of colours, a little bit more unrealistic, but I think it actually came out a little bit better. And which one do I prefer? Honestly, I think they both look actually pretty good. The metal one is a little bit more leaner, looks a little bit better to me. And yeah, I must admit that the plastic ones look a little bit more chubbier. But yeah, I think you'd be very happy if you're a plastic fan. I'm definitely more on the metal side of things, but the plastic set from Warlord Games has actually come out really nicely, and they're definitely improving their plastic game, that's for sure. So let me know in the comment section which one you prefer, and the paint scheme. As I said, vary up a little bit. You know, Burma, jungle, it's going to get hot, it's going to get sweaty, and those uniforms are going to fade big time. So yeah, mix it up. You can have a lot of fun with them if you want to. Now, a huge thank you goes out to my Patreon and YouTube channel members, specifically those Panzer Aces. So that's Patrick, Oscar, James, Panzer Jim, Lack of Foresight Gaming, Mike, Mikey, Eric, Rothgar, Ian, Adam, Rob, and Alan. You guys are all champions. Thank you so much for being those aces. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it here. Don't forget to drop me a comment below, and until then, I will catch you at the next one. Hello guys, and welcome to Painting Panzers. My name's Christian, and today I've got something that is very close to my heart. I have got some Far East Commonwealth forces to paint up, specifically some of the new Warlord Games plastic Gurkhas. Thank you so much to the team at Warlord for sending me this sprue as well, but this particular set is going to be focused on the Gurkhas in the Far East. I've painted them up in a slightly different style, I would say, that you might have expected to see, specifically the trousers. But yeah, I'll talk all about that in just a moment, but I would be very keen to know if you're going to be getting yourself one of these. Don't forget, I've got a Warlord Games affiliate link, so if you do go ahead and grab yourself any of these Gurkhas, yeah, please do consider using my link. But enough of all of that. I really want to get into this video, and hopefully you guys will get something out of it. So let's get into it.